on why I review decks the way that I do. So it looks like people are trickling in on all platforms. As a reminder, we are live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and direct on our Riverside. So if you had signed up on Luma for our monthly event, you can participate in the Q&A. I'll go ahead and just say it. If anyone has questions or would like me to be more specific, happy to answer those questions in the chat. You can also leave comments on LinkedIn, but sometimes I don't always get over to that page. So that all said, I do want to thank our sponsor, our close friends over at Deco. They are a deck building agency that is build your deck by VCs. So Robert Harari is a friend of ours who we feel does incredible work with a unique perspective when it comes to building decks. So we're going to go through some decks that maybe could use some love. And Deco is a great solution for founders that need help kind of getting through the deck process. And like I said, your deck is really your first impression. Black and white slides don't really cut it these days. Founder or VCs and investors want to see your ability to execute and sell yourself and market yourself because for your raise, because it's a direct correlation to probably how you're going out and selling to customers. So invest in your decks, invest in your marketing materials. We highly recommend Deco for a lot of the reasons other than design, but main reason is you're actually going to be working with active VCs as your consultant or as your account manager, which I think is incredibly unique for their model. So if you're not familiar with them, you can check them out at getdeco.com. And if you mention Thunder, they'll hook you up with a 10% off discount. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump in to our first deck. We have roughly, 10 or so decks submitted. I might not be able to get to them all within the time allotted. Some I'll spend a little bit more time on, some I'll go very quickly through. It just really depends on the quality of the deck and just my thoughts that come about. And also keep in mind, I go through these decks very, very quickly in my head. And in reality, most investors only spend about 15 seconds to about 2 minutes on a deck. I will be spending probably a lot more time on the decks because I'll be thinking my thoughts out loud. And what would typically be processed in about 15 seconds to 2 minutes, I'll be talking out loud. So it takes a little bit more time to go through the decks. So I apologize if I had to pause while reading a deck and reviewing a deck because I did not review these in advance. This is like an authentic response to each deck. And to which after I review each deck, I'll conclude with a final score for those. And as a reminder, forgot to mention, if you guys are not familiar with Thunder and what we do, we provide a suite of free tools and content and support for the founder ecosystem. So you can go and use our AI VC Finder tool. So basically, you provide us your data into the Thunder platform, and we will show you all the relevant VCs that are most likely to take a meeting with you. That's completely free. You can obviously pay for the ability to download the list or see additional data. But if you just want to see who you should be matching with, that's completely free once you join the platform. You can find that at thunder.vc. If you're already generating revenue and you are looking to maybe extend your runway or avoid raising equity, you can check out our debt capital raising solution, where we identify out of 250 lenders which ones are more likely to underwrite you given your current circumstances. You can learn more about that at our website at thunder.vc. And then, of course, we have our newsletter and our podcast, which you can learn more at join.thunder.vc. It's called the Fundraising Demystified newsletter and podcast, where we cover topics that founders should know when it comes to raising capital and securing capital for they're hitting the next milestone. With that, I'll stop the plugs and I'll go into the deck reviews. And like I said, if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to chime in into the LinkedIn comments, as well as YouTube and the Riverside experience. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one. Blaze, world's best payments app for modern nomads. Very specific audience. Curious as to why this is the best. It's a bold claim, so I'm coming in very skeptical. Be careful with making those types of bold statements, because if you underdeliver, it's game over. Also, I do see that this is 23 slides. I'm already a little hesitant to dive in. That's a big deck to go through, and I'll be less inclined to get through it, knowing that it's 23 sides. We are seasoned engineers and designers. All right, cool. You guys have had experience launching a VC backed startup before. That's good. Seems like you have a technical team. That's great. This is a good idea for an early stage company to demonstrate the quality of the team. I'm like, okay, there's some technical talent here. They're probably capable of building something. So this is a good strategy if you have a strong team to lead with the team. Because ultimately, at the pre-seed seed stage, that's what you're really selling is the team, because your product could change dramatically in the future. For nomads, sending money with foreign friends is painful. Um, sure. I've seen a lot of fintech solutions. I'm very skeptical. I feel like there are a lot of players in the space, so I really want to know what makes you special, and kind of quantify the problem for me. Some people wait to the market side. In this particular sense, so there's nothing to really stand out and grab my attention except a self-declared identity that the problem is painful. If I'm not a digital nomad, which I was many years ago, but before it was cool, but now I'm not sure what the pain they face. So you really need to kind of quantify the pain a little bit more, so I could justify why you need to exist, in comparison to like whys, that's out there right now. Pay requests from anyone. Um, Looks like Zelle or any other payment platform. So don't see what's special. Okay, you're building it on the blockchain. There's already solutions that are off block, just Web 2.0. Do we need a Web 3.0 solution? Um, do we really need smart contracts? Um, it works even if they don't have the app. Citizens will receive a link that they can use to complete the transaction if they don't have the app. All right, so just a web app, I guess they can click on, not have to download. So I guess that's helpful. Um, okay, these are all just kind of like high level ideas, it looks like, and all the potential things that you could potentially build. And we'll do this and events and a premium card. And um, I'm very hesitant of pre-seed. I'm imagining this is pre-seed based on how the deck is going, to kind of promise the world before they have anything really to offer. Tell me what you're going to be incredibly good at. That is incredible. That's incredibly unique and has a defensive moat. Everything I'm seeing here already exists on tons of different contexts and apps. So I'm not entirely sure this is a must-have, and/or this would be a very expensive customer acquisition uh, business, which is one of the big reasons fintech is struggling, especially the direct-to-consumer stuff. There's plenty of room to build a unicorn in the nomad market. Sure. Um, can you quantify what this is? Why is this? Oh, this is what you're saying. These. Oh, okay. So this is what it is today. This is what you're saying is being. So it's a double in 7 years. And your Sam is nomad. Uh, maybe. Um, sure. And that transactions processed. That's the other thing with a fintech is like, oh, it's $3.8 billion a year. It's like, okay, is that the money moving? Because then, if that's the case, you're taking what 1% of that, capturing 1% of that movement. That's $38 million. That's the biggest you could be. That's probably not a venture backable story. So just kind of be cognizant of that and really kind of explain what this number is. A lot of founders just think they got to throw $1 billion numbers in their market slides, but you really kind of have to explain what that money is, especially in fintech. You have to explain what your actual take, not what you're going to be processing. $3.8 billion in the payment space is not worth really any VC's time. So you need to be clear of that. You need to really demonstrate what actual revenue to your top line business or net revenue would ultimately come out to be. So keep that in mind. One nomad hub at a time. So sure, all ideas, nothing validated. Let's say more about tomorrow. So one thing that I imagine here is nothing is actually live, nothing is actually built, and this is super early days trying to build something. All right, so you say you're going to get in 4 years, you're going to get to 10 million monthly active users in a very diversified geo. Hard to believe, but again, that's how companies work. But I'm not being convinced that you guys are demonstrating the ability to do it. Um, and you're gonna have $93 million, I take it, from premium membership. So people are going to be spending a lot with you for memberships. The car, yeah. So I guess I don't really understand why you really need to exist when there's so many players in the space. Like I use Wise. I don't know if I really need a loyalty program or access events. Like most of those things are completely ignored in reality and not taken advantage of. It's not really why people use these things. 1700. Okay, so here we go. So here's your traction. 1,700 people sign up on a waiting list, and 10 LOIs for pay with Blaze. Coffee shops. Ooh. Red flag. You've gotten 10 coffee shops that at most process, call it, I don't know, in Mexico, probably 50K, 100K, 150K a year in revenue, into which a very small percentage would go through Blaze. That's just not a compelling stat under any circumstances. Be careful when you reference, traction like this when trying to raise capital. You should really, I don't know, you gotta list something. So I get it. It's just not impressive, just to be completely blunt. And like waiting list, does that mean they're actually gonna give you their banking details? Is very different than saying, "Oh, cool," and giving an email versus actually converting. So you're raising 1.5 million. Sure. Thank you. And I guess there's a bunch of, so your license in countries already. We're already licensed for 50% of nomads worldwide. So you have some partnerships, which doesn't look like you list the partnerships. Yeah. So the deck is well designed. I think there needs to be more numbers, more qualification, but it's a very clean deck, easy to get through, straightforward. It's just not an exciting business. Maybe some investors have a strong thesis on betting on nomads, nomad culture. If you're not familiar with the nomad and what it means, which, if you have to explain to an investor what a nomad is, probably not going to be an investor. But effectively, it's someone that leaves their current country and travels the world and works remote, from a location that's not their original home country or home location. And definitely since COVID, been very popular on social media. So there's definitely trends towards its popularity. But something that's missed here is like, how is the trend continuing? There, what is the momentum of nomad culture? Or is it continuing to grow at an accelerated rate? Has it started to taper off? That would be an interesting stat to share with the VC. So these are kind of things that at this early stage, this just looks like another payments app, which we don't need, in my personal opinion. This would be very expensive customer acquisition channel. There's so many players in the space because it's pretty low barrier to entry now to get some of these apps up and like focusing on a really niche business. And then what happens is if you actually really build a effective customer acquisition channel, you can sell the business to like as a micro acquisition or a small acquisition to a niche focused bank or someone that's like trying to explore into new customer base. But it's a very hard thing to do. A lot of companies have raised a lot of money to do something very, very similar and are far ahead. I don't know if there's any reason why this has to be built on Stellar. That wasn't really explained in detail to the point that it mattered, as far as cost savings or benefits or anything like that. So I think it's really missing the point as to why this needs to exist. So deck design, solid. Higher score gives you, it basically takes you from what I would give this business and like the likeliness of this me taking a meeting, probably 1 or 2. And actually, the team was, interesting. So this could be something where people look at the team slide and they're like, hey, these guys look interesting backgrounds. One giant missing piece though, put your LinkedIn, make it clickable, make it so I can see your LinkedIn very, very easily. And I don't have to make it difficult to search because a lot of VCs just want to meet interesting founders. So they might be like, this idea sucks, but these founders look like they're working on something, they're just working on the wrong thing. Maybe I could have a chat with them or build a relationship and be there for the next one that actually makes sense. So it's really important as a pre-seed, like kind of angel round founder, to make it very easy for people to look you up and know who you are and determine if you alone are interesting, and whether the idea has merit or not. So reality is here, this may get a meeting. This is probably like a 3. It has probably higher probability of getting a meeting just for the execution of the design and the team, but very unlikely to get investment from those people and more just kind of trying to meet interesting people and expand their network. Associates will probably take this. All right, moving on. Just zoom out here. Okay. SharePoint. Personal opinion, I hate SharePoint. Not everyone's favorite. A lot of VCs and don't use the Microsoft ecosystem, but not a deal breaker. It's just not a preferred method of sharing information. Catalyst, using AI to bridge the knowledge gaps between software teams. Problem: poor incomplete project data, missing information, wasted time. Again, issue here, you're not really quantifying the pain. Really explain to me how big this problem is, why people hate it. Like, yeah, everyone can kind of complain about project management. There's Everyone has their own flavors. This is not really doing a good job of demonstrating why the pain is unique. Inadequate and proper documents. Why? Lack of education, lack of standards, time constraints, no immediate. Yeah, these are all common, basic problems. So what makes you special? Automated integration, documentation, generation tool. It's a mouthful. Analyze, process code through our advanced model, interpret. Okay, here we go. This is interesting. Good idea. Show me the product. So here I'm like, meh, show me. All right, now you're showing me. Good job. Input GitHub link. Click submit. What's the output? Ooh, all right. All right, that's kind of cool. I don't know what the competition in this space is. I imagine it's probably heating up with just all the generic AI wrapper tools and stuff like that. But this does look pretty interesting. This does look like it could be helpful and kind of help automate documentation and or do 90% of the work and force the developer to kind of review it and make sure it's actually accurate. Ooh, does it do the diagram as well? All right, good job. I'm interested. Okay, what's the real opportunity here? So our technology, code base, goes in little AI tool here. True. And then can capture manual information. So yeah, it's basically what it sounds like is cutting out a good amount of time. So saving 15% of developers' time. Yep, here we go. Good job of quantifying the problem. So the average salary, 150K a year, 15% wasted on documentation or organization and stuff like that. So give them 15% back to being productive. So someone that has 500 or developers could save 12.5 million a year. All right, good. Easy to follow, clean story. Let's see the team: computer science, masters, financial services. Yeah, it might be good to say what financial services brand you worked at. So maybe drop it to logos. If they're not notable, then sure. So it looks all right. You had a former founder experience, an ecom platform. And you're doing 100K of sales. So, Indian-based team, it looks like, or maybe was based in India. Yep. Okay. Solid technical team. Good. Deloitte experience. All right. So it sounds like a very technical oriented team. Probably all came from experience as to why they hate, solve the problem. So that's it looks like a very strong technical team, which is great. I do want to kind of see what's the go to market. How are they going to sell this? All right. So you have some customers in the industry. So be curious as to how you're going to do that. Not raising a lot of money. I imagine for such a low amount that maybe the team is still in India, which is an easy conclusion a lot of VCs will make. And India's got a great and massive market, but it's just disqualifies a lot of U.S. investors. Being that I'm in the U.S. and I got this deck, I'm a little disinterested, mainly because one, the ask is really small. Two, there's no sales yet. So how are they going to sell? Who are they selling to? Kind of what's the go to market? So I think that is really what's missing here. So it sounds super, super early, but the tech and product look pretty interesting. I would take a meeting out of curiosity to the tech and kind of figuring out what's missing to the business model. But kudos to the team. Very simple deck, straight to the point, exactly what a pre-seed deck should be. Honestly, I give this a 4 or 5. I think it's pretty solid. I just I didn't love the problem slide as much. I think this one's a better problem framing. You might not even need this slide, but yeah, the real missing piece is how are you going to make money? What are you going to charge? Doesn't sound like you have that figured out yet. So you're, betting to come in early. 5 mil valuation, yeah, maybe. You might get offers interested in coming in at a lower rate or lower valuation. Again, also if you're in India, there could be complexities. I imagine you are hopefully set up as a dollar C corp, albeit Elon Musk is making that less interesting to do these days. But for the layman's and the regular folk, probably should be just fine. But yeah, honestly, I feel good about this. So yeah, for a pre-seed deck, I'm going to give you guys a 5. I think this is great. I think anyone that is building, investing in dev tools would definitely take a meeting. The only thing I don't have context on is this already built? Is this already in the world? There's no reference of competition. So, it could be already a million solutions out there like this, and I don't know. So that would be like a caveat, but I think it's interesting enough to take a meeting. So great job. Wow, we got a pretty sizable audience today. Nice. Across all 3 platforms. All right. Pincast, the social audio AR platform. Pre-seed, give us a date. Yeah, this is nice. Like, this is something I don't really care for all the time, but it is kind of nice to kind of put the actual date. And as a registered, broker dealer, I'm legally required to put date and material information on every pitch deck for a frame of reference because, like, oh, we're doing $10 million a year. I was like, well, that 2 years ago? Was it last year? Is it a projection? So kind of putting dates and also the very specific pre-seed ask here is a good strategy to put in there just so investors kind of know how to frame the perspective. Like, okay, pre-seed, this is fresh. This data should be all up to date. Moving on. Problem: interest in immersive experience is exploding. 52 billion by 2027. Well, I'd really like to know what it is today because there's a lot of money going into development, but even Apple, and also what is 52 billion? Is that the software, the hardware? So a little skeptical about that. And we love digital audio. Sure, 70% of the US listens to audio. Okay. That's actually surprisingly low when you think about it. So why is location-based audio still just a novelty? Because yeah, music tours on that kind of stuff. Yeah, I guess that's why. I don't know if I really want spatial audio, but let me see what we got here. Make it social and interactive. Social audio AR platform. Create and pin audio to real-world places. It's like a geocache for their audio. You must visit pins in real life to listen to them. Interactive audio tours, plant private messages for friends, location-based music discovery runs on smartphones. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you don't need. Thank God, you don't need an AR headset. Don't want to, see those memes of people walking around the Apple headset. Create and compete. This is a terrible slide. I don't want to read it. I would just skip it, to be honest. But for the sake of this review, we'll go through it a little bit. So you're basically trying to tell me what the product is, and you're literally giving like step by step. Terrible. Try to show me. Show me how intuitive this is, not what it could be. I want to see how you actually are thinking about execution, and could you actually execute on an experience that is enticing enough to convince users to switch their time out of Instagram and Facebook. Well, no one uses Facebook anymore, but Snapchat and X and LinkedIn. Like, you're competing with where most people spend their time, YouTube. So I hate these kind of slides. I feel they just don't really do much justice. Functional prototype already built. Well, I kind of want to believe that you have the design chops and the UI UX chops to convince the world that they're going to have fun playing in this, and this doesn't look very fun. Go to market, Atomic Networks, launch small and inclusive or exclusive geofenced neighborhoods. First has 3 MB codes. Like, yeah, this is all just like, and we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do this, but we haven't actually done anything yet. That's what I'm reading here. And it's one thing to say this stuff, but when it comes to actually, working, that's a very different story. Yeah, getting creators and giving them equity, 10,000 create. You want 10,000 people on your cap table? You might want to think about how that actually gets executed on. It's a far more complicated arrangement than you might think. So that's already just like a red flag from just people being finance professionals that are looking at this, like, oh my God, you want 10,000 people to have equity? How does it actually work? That just, adds more chaos. This is just like we're throwing ideas and spaghetti on the wall is what I'm reading. Okay. I don't really believe it, but yeah, good. You have a source here, so I could review it. But I don't really understand how you're monetizing. You're effectively going to be doing ads. Like that's what this business model would be, I imagine. So I don't know if really. Oh, you have AR ads here, so I don't know if we're going to be at 3.1 billion in AR ads by then, but maybe. Business model: achieve net effect, launch a multiple atomic network. Okay, yeah, again, all meaningless, non-impactful data, no numbers, no real traction, no unique advantage, no team yet. So I don't even know if you guys are believable at this point. I'd probably put you guys at the top. Yeah, again, telling me that you're the future and you're gonna have an advantage. The team is one person. Got it. That is already a giant red flag. Um, So you have experience doing something. Okay, building a digital network for health. Okay, so it's relevant. So I'd probably make this a way better slide and highlight yourself a little bit better. Imagine this is your LinkedIn. Yeah. Um, and I'd probably start with this and then go through the deck and materials, just so I can kind of wrap my head around. It's like, okay, you have experience building some kind of digital network. Now, what did it get to? What happened to it? It looks like you had some success here, but what happened to the business? I don't know. But yeah, okay, you're building the co-founder team now. So yeah, real early. So you don't even have the founding team yet. This is all idea conceptualization. So these kind of decks only work with existing friends and family or connections. This deck would not get a meeting to a new VC. So for my scoring recommendation, this would be a 1. But this founder might have a background, might have a track record, and could potentially raise capital with a deck like this if they made other investors money in the past or have a strong reputation. So, not bad. From that perspective, this would be 100% leveraged by the founder's personal network and not this deck. So, from this purpose of the review, it's a 1. But for the purpose of what this person is capable of, could be better. All right, moving on. Prentice. I hope I said that right. Making the job search fair, fast, and fun. Tell me how. The all-in-one career success platform to get students from learning to earning fast. Cute. All right, cool. You got 160K in ARR. You're in 20 schools. Total more. Job search on the platform. All right. You got to be like, okay, you guys got to have a business. You're doing something. You got money. Great. Let's keep going. First year immigrating with first business. 17 dreamt of going to college and landing a great job. Didn't know how to get a job search and didn't get support. Students who view career services as unhelpful. Got it. So this is just a random student. I thought this was going to be a team or something like that at first, but okay. Okay. So I guess it's identifying the ICP. Cool. Career services is fractured. 15 months later, starting work as a career coach. Incoherent system of 9 platforms, unlimited coaches, low engagement. University is using 4 platforms for services, probably. Okay, so building a marketplace, showing me ICP on both sides. Good design so far. I'm following. 115 million learners that need career services each year. Really? 115 million globally? That's a third of the country. I don't know if that's an accurate statement. It sounds kind of big. I feel like I should know what a MOOC is, but I don't. So, massive online learning. I don't know. So boot camps, universities. That's, I guess, non-existent are not built to service both coaches and job seekers. Cool. If you can't get students hired, you won't get new ones. Okay. I don't know how. I guess I'm not understanding it. If that's the employer side or what perspective that's trying to give. So if you can't get students hired, you won't get new ones. Who is you? I guess. You gotta be careful with that language. You're talking to investors. You gave me the 2 ICPs. I guess maybe the coach. I guess you're talking about the coach. The all-in-one career success platform. Oh, okay. So like a white labeled solution to manage your, you know, career coaching business for students. It's a niche, I guess. I don't know. I imagine it's niche. But platform looks sleek, cool. All in one, combines coaching, job search tools, community. All right, so it's kind of like a learning, recruiting, one-on-one coaching management platform, powered by AI. Okay, well, everyone's got to have AI somewhere, right? Average day retention. 30, okay, so 25 hours saved per week per coach, by coaches per week. Is that per coach? That's a ton of time. That's like, more than half of their time saved per week. I'd be skeptical of that. And then so yeah, I'd be like, all right, 2x faster job searches. So I'd be really curious as to like how that works. What's the tech here? And then job outcomes for all. Cool. On track to hit 4 million ARR by end of next year. Bold claim to be at 160K now and get up that fast. But hey, if you can, great. Okay. Cool. People love you. Great. Born to fix job search. First generation immigrant since working since 8 years old. Wow, you've had an early career. Helping 1,000 people get hired as career coach, community builder, and podcast. So you have some relevant background. Solo founder. All right, solo founder, built everything yourself. Impressive, but some VCs hate solo founders, but you got something off the ground, you got revenue, so no one can knock you for that. And this is one of the cases where like solo founder raising money works is when you've already done something versus the last one, it was all ideas. This one's like, no, I've actually built something and I clearly know how to design stuff and execute and tell a story. So this founder looks backable. By who? Not entirely sure of the right, right away, but this person's focused on building and getting to traction. This person would get a meeting from what I am reviewing right now. Right. So not asking for how much money, but this is someone that's going to go out and build relationships with interested investors. They're going to be looking at this guy and be like, all right, he's doing something interesting. Let me watch it. Let me see what's going on, especially if you're in the HR tech space. I'm going to give this guy like a 4 or 5 as well. This is actually a pretty solid deck. Told the story. A little bit of like things I had to go back and forth on, but super clean. Didn't have a lot of issues. And also just, I really want to highlight how minimal his words are and how everything's spaced out. Like, there's no like super dense text. Like, yeah, there's just a decent amount of text in this profile, but it's clean. It pops off the page. It's got this nice little like design around the percents. Um, it's not a lot of text on the slide, and it's very large, very easy to read. Shapes up the design. Like this is good execution on design, and I think this would be a good representation for founders to take into consideration at the pre-seed stage of how you can differentiate, how you can stand out. I'm not entirely sure and convinced of like the market opportunity. But this would be something like, oh, he's building something interesting. He focused on one thing, like the marketplace and the system for it. So it's like, all right, maybe this could grow into something else. So like this would get a meeting, in my opinion. So job well done. Kudos to you. All right, we're doing a Notion site, so I'm starting to see these a little bit more often. So leading with a video. I do hate videos. 30 seconds, so not too bad. Okay. So scanning. All right. So replicate original work. Um, no risk, free to scan. Sell and deliver your artwork worldwide. Art drop. Okay. I'm not sure I'm super interested in the business, but I am interested in at least reviewing it. So let's take a look at the deck here, which I think is what we're supposed to focus on. He's raised 470K. So it's a good way to like just quickly skim through. Okay, it goes through the whole deck one by one. All right, let's just do this way. All right, moving on. Okay, art drop. Oh, thanks, Andrew. I'm glad you liked it. Rod, thank you. Glad you enjoyed the feedback as well. Those are people commenting on the Riverside. Still going strong with the audience. Nice. All right, artists starve, stories go untold. Common story. Yep. We help artists eat. Exposure, access, technology, clever. I like it. Artist create, handles everything else. Nice. With a sister-in-law who loves art and is a pretty decent artist, but doesn't make a ton of money from it. I get it. We 3D scan art and record stories. Okay. Showcase artists. We generate portfolio bio. Okay, nice. 3D print art, museum, quality replicas of paintings, capture texture. Huh. I would be interested in seeing how that actually works. Is this off the shelf tech? Did you build this tech? So is this a hardware and a software play? Or is this just buying hardware off the shelf? On app, at events, public showcases. All right, that's cool. Tap phone. So yeah, this is a pretty interactive way to interact with art. It's all a similar company and probably not as far along as this appears to be, maybe. Um, so basically, two different businesses here. Um, the scanning of the art and the app, not businesses, but like two very different components. All the detail, the texture, using advanced. Okay, so it doesn't sound like it's their tech. Um, okay, showcase, engage, evolve, cool. Um, nice. All right, so I do like that. They get to keep the originals. They can do whatever they want with it. Um, and then they can monetize replicas because yeah, replicas are hard. It's like you got to front the money up front and all that kind of stuff. This looks like maybe it's on demand, which would be great. Which would be very difficult for an artist to do on their own. Surface capture, invest. Global leader in 3D surface capture, invest. Wait. Oh, Sliver Global. These are investor. The partnership. I guess invest what? I'm kind of want to know a little bit more about the details there. I was a little vague. Um, cool. Okay, 3 scans. I kind of want to know where you're at with the business and what the monetization model is. Okay, yep, makes sense. All right. So it's a good deck, but you leave a lot of open-ended questions like what are the unit economics? What's the business? How much you're gonna make? What do you guys what's the revenue model? So let's go back here. Um based in Colorado. I don't see anything about a business model. Looks like you're still working on it. Oh, okay, you're seeking 1 million. So this was not in the deck. Equipment per yeah, so you're buying the equipment. Understood. That makes more sense. So it's really the app is what you're doing and the service that you're providing. So the big question here is, do the unit economics make sense? And is it worth taking a meeting with you? So I would have to be passionate about art. I have to be passionate about the problem. Was there anything about the team? Yeah, huge red flag. No team. Come on, guys, show yourselves. Don't make this sound like a Web3 crypto shady thing. So that's a huge red flag. That's pretty much dead on arrival for that reason. Um, so again, perspective is I don't know you, and I'm looking at your deck. I want to see if you're worth meeting, and if I don't even know who I'd be meeting, I'm like, all right, whatever, not interested. So link to your LinkedIn, show me the team, what makes you special. Clearly, you're an artist, you're capable of good design, simple and clear messaging, good job, good execution. But this goes straight to a one by not showing your team, not showing any kind of thought into how you'd make money. So it sounds like maybe all the founders are just really good artists, but don't know business, but are talking about helping other artists that aren't good at business to be good at business. I don't know. So this would, be kind of cast aside for me, but really, it's a very easy fix. Show me the team, show me a business model of roughly what this is, or how you're thinking about the flow of money. And you're more likely to get meetings and very, very quickly. That would dramatically change your conversion, in my opinion. So, not a bad deck, has high potential to be a four if they add those two slides. All right, moving on. How much time I got? About 10 minutes or so. A revolutionary medical solution. Boring. Breakthrough in medical diagnostic technology. Revolutionizing healthcare with discovery, a new role of red blood cells. All right. So how about you just have this line that actually says what you're doing, and this other stuff doesn't matter. You say revolutionary twice and breakthrough and all these like buzzwords, complete waste of time. Um, Putting your name here and CEO and the company name again, waste of space. Give me the date. Give me the capital raise stage, whatever. Like, there's just this is already off to a really bad start, and obviously bad design. I hate Dropbox for decks. Okay, now it works, I guess. Yep. So design's already very disinteresting, but then again, anytime I ever see any kind of medical device company, it's not far off from what this looks like. They never seem to value bringing in designers. Problem diseases are major problems. Great. Current solutions, existing diagnostic tests are expensive. Sure. Has developed a revolutionary diagnostic solution based on the unique role of red blood cells. It doesn't really tell me much. It says diseases are bad, current solutions are expensive, and we are doing something with red blood cells. You could probably have a more impactful um, story here. And I don't know why Dropbox is being difficult for me to navigate, but that's a red flag as well. It's just like, I don't know, I wouldn't use Dropbox for sharing decks. They own DocSend, ironically. The technology discovery is based on the breakthrough discovery. Okay, you keep saying the same stuff. Tell me what you're actually doing. All right, you transport self and foreign antigens. Okay, sensitive. Okay, so you're going to replace a skin test. Okay, for tuberculosis. Sure. Just like the formatting, the colors, the design. It's so hard to want to read this. I'm forcing myself through it. But again, it's highly technical. This person probably should bring on a partner or a professional to help them redesign this deck and better articulate what they're doing. Products and applications, Alzheimer's. Okay, so you're developing all this new diagnostic tests. All right, you're basically developing new diagnostics. So diagnostics is a $700 billion market. Wow, okay, it's big, but are you doing all diagnostic tests or just a very small niche? You're not really quantifying the niche. I have no idea what this line means. Again, pretty half-assed design here. I would not take a meeting. I don't even want to read it anymore. You're not telling me anything about what makes you special. Where's your PhD? What university are you at? What did you do your studies with? Like, give me something to care about. Yeah, financial projections. We're gonna be at 60 million, and we don't even know what we're selling yet. Yeah, this is a one. Um, it just seems like these are maybe more academics and not necessarily have any business advisory on their side to kind of help them better understand how to position what they're actually building. It could be something crazy, amazing, and awesome, but they're doing a terrible job convincing me of it. So this one gets a one. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Napper, relax on your schedule. Okay. Zoom in here. Making on the go rest convenient and affordable? Since when do you have to pay for rest? Okay. Slightly skeptical now. We are on a mission to make proper rest a part of everyday life. We refuse to accept always being tired at the status quo. The problem people on the go are not getting the rest they need, or they're eating garbage in America, which I imagine is more of the issue, having massive lunches and sitting all day. I think that's probably more of the issue. But yeah. So yeah, there you go. Get obesity and these other things. Sure. Oh, that's what it leads to. Okay, so if you are sleeping less than 7 hours a day, sure. Determining just go the resting away from home is a difficult undertaking with many hurdles. Um, sure, while traveling, yeah, it's hard to find a place to sleep, and sure, unless you have like you're in the executive clubs and stuff. Marketplace enables people to find flexible and affordable day rates at nearby hotels to catch up on much needed rest. So you're going to work with hotels to turn over empty rooms for like 2 hours and not even cover the cleaning fee. And I'm like, am I going to be, whoa, I don't know if this needs to exist. I'd rather just lay under my desk than commute to a hotel for like have hotels agreed to do this, like just to turn over the room for a day. It doesn't even seem to be worth their time. um That's someone just came into the comments here, so I will not repeat it if you read it for yourselves. But yes, that pay by the hour stays could be interpreted in other ways. Well said, Quentin. Core needs and wants, catching up on rest. Like, yeah, sure, it sounds, idealistic is probably the right word up here. I don't know if this is going to solve the burnout crisis by, oh, I'm tired. You know what I need? I need to book a hotel for $100 to go sleep for an hour. I don't think we're going to see that happen. Um, and then you have minute suites. Oh, there's some competition already that are doing it. Okay, I'm curious how big they are. Um, so there's already players in the space. Oh, you're going to do a monthly membership for discounts, or oh, that you're going to make $7.50 a booking. Got it. So you need to have millions of people wanting to take naps at random hotels. Not an exciting opportunity, I imagine. I don't know how you have 925 hotel relationships negotiated. I imagine you're just offering their lowest day rate, because that's the only way I'd imagine they would work with you. Jared Lerner, Hunter, and ZZO. Cute. I don't know if this is an awesome idea. I don't know if people are going to be really excited about this. Could your tech or knowledge or background be used in other ways? Maybe. Um, you were in the top 10 on Product Hunt. That is not notable, to be honest. Like Product Hunt, if you're not one or two or three, like, for especially for the day, it's not something to really brag about. That's just maybe you pushing your friends to like it. That's not really going viral and winning the day. So yeah, this one I would not take a meeting with. I don't find really anything interesting about this business or why it needs to exist or how it would take off and your cost to acquire a customer. Like how frequently are they using this? Maybe you get a couple loyalists, but I doubt this would take off with current user behaviors because you'd be changing dramatically user behavior. And I imagine they would consistently either have a place near them or if they're traveling, they're going to have a hotel as it is. So I don't um, really see the value at all. So sorry if you're on the call and listening. I know it's pretty harsh, but hope someone tells you eventually. All right, we're gonna have time for one more. Ticketed streaming and audience measurement technology. Okay. I do not want to watch the video. Do not like this. CNEX is leading the future of premium streaming and engagement analytics from Silicon Valley and LA. I don't think exclusive entertainment, another streaming platform. It's exactly what we all need. Physical access to ticket entertainment is highly limited. That's the point. Expand the ticketed audience. So pay per view. Our solution is AI powered pay per view, digital ticketing system. My friends, patented IP, AI, and computer vision to effectively monetize each engaged viewer. How? How are you? You're gonna have a device too. This seems so old. I don't know. I saw this stuff back in like 2016, and they never went anywhere. See, I don't know what the IP really is, or why anyone needs it, or what the business proposition is. Um, convince me. This is a huge team. Looks like a lot of hired guns potentially. I'm not sure they're all. Got two co-founders here. Got a board, advisors. Not usually a fan of that many people because again, you're pre-seed or seed. Like I only care about you, the founders, unless you have like super big names that I would know in the industry. It's not usually great to list all your advisors. It's not hard to give away free equity to people that use their name. So what is your actual opportunity? You're saying you're gonna do all of it, so your sum is 1.7 billion, but I guess I don't know exactly what that breaks out to be. Competitive analysis, you're gonna be in the middle of all of them. I guess why monetize each? How are you monetizing? You haven't explained how you monetize. So am I paying with my face to watch a movie? Like I don't know. Okay, random film festivals, business model, transaction analytics. Yeah. Now raising my percentage in capital, interim capital. That's not good. Anything interim or C plus. When I don't even understand the business. You're requiring at least 100K. You have some money. You've clearly convinced some people. You have some smart, maybe smart people around you. But you get a device. Like, do I really want a device? Where does this device go? Okay, so you are facial recognition in my home. Not excited about that. And I don't know how you make money. Trying to figure it out. Man, we had some really good ones today, but it doesn't look like we're going to end on a strong note here. Yeah, you really need to tell me how you're actually going to make money, and why the world needs you, and why customers would put another device in their home when we're moving away from devices. So this one gets a 1. I don't think the design's great. I don't think the narrative is clear. I don't even want to know more. I'm not intrigued. So sorry for the harsh feedback, but kind of how it is. Before we go, as a reminder, if you need some help with your deck, check out getdeco.com. Mention Thunder and get 10% off. We like our friends over at Get Deco. Also, if you are looking to raise capital and you need help or need some resources, be sure to check us out at thunder.bc, or join our newsletter at join.thunder.bc. We provide a bunch of a suite of free tools and content to help founders navigate their capital journey. I appreciate the decent sized crowd we had today. So thanks for everyone for joining and sitting through this. Hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully you got some lessons learned. And look forward to seeing you guys in the next month. And if you want your deck roasted, be sure to go to our Luma page. That's lu.ma/Jason Kirby, where you can register for our monthly pitch deck roast and submit a deck. Or you can join our founder community on Slack by joining our website platform, thunder.vc, to receive an invite to our founder community, where you can upload your deck to our Slack channel. Or if you're just really lazy, you can just email me begging me to put it in, and I'll forward it to my team to add it. So appreciate everyone joining us. Thanks for those that participate in some of the conversation, and look forward to seeing you all next week or next month.